Woo, but man, y'all just get ready. Here we go. I'm just going to give you the title of my sermon right now. We're going to start it right here. Communication is everything. Communication is everything. And we know communication is big because if you watch the news, they're always communicating something to you. They're always trying to give you something, you know, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm communicating the message to you today too. So I'm trying to communicate something to you. And all content has intent. Remember that. When they're giving you the news, it has an intent while they're giving it to you. Sports used to be pure, but I don't know. It seems like it get a little political sometime in the sports too, you know, because you can't speak out on certain things that you get put off the team. So it's like those things are a little different anyway. But the sports that be, they can do what they want to do, but if you speak out against it, then you might not be there. So they can do what they want, but you can't speak out against what they're doing because they say, man, if you're going to take this money, you're going to do as we say. That's just the way it works. You know, just look at Hollywood, you know, for some of those actors and stuff. Hey, man, put this dress on and we'll give you another movie. If not, you might not be in nothing else. Hey, the rappers, too, they're going to be doing that to the rappers pretty well. They do a lot of stuff to the rappers that they won't admit. But there's a lot going on there, too, because they want that money. And you do what you need to do to get that money. But communication is pretty serious. But God is always trying to communicate something to you. But with all the distractions and everything else they give us, sometimes it's hard to hear. I'm a pastor, and the distractions are real. And sometimes I set out, and, you know, the Lord wake you up or something. Hey, man, you need to go pray. Man, you get to praying, you think about everything else but praying. You say, where is that coming from? I wasn't even thinking about that. You say, man, there's just these things that come on, but this is what, and a minister said this ain't come from me. This is what the guy said. He said, you need to pray to have a prayer life. He's saying pray so that your prayer life can essentially get better, that these distractions go away from you. And you have to get that mind in tune and in focus because the distractions are real. See, one of the first things the enemy did, we looked at him in the garden. What was he doing? He was cutting the communication off between them and their God. It really essentially wasn't about the sin. It was about the disconnection that he was causing with the people. Because what did they do? And this is why then it becomes about sin, because what happens when you sin? You run from God. See, so that's essentially what we saw them do. The serpent comes in, the communication is cut off between them and God. Then they say, hey, man, we got to go hide. Communication is over. Man, we ain't talking no more. And then God said, look, where are you? What's going on here? He said, man, I don't see. Oh, man, we thought we were naked. Who communicated that to you? Somebody communicated something to them. So all of a sudden, their eyes were open and they knew something was different. But really, essentially, what they're explaining there at that point is that the glory of God was gone. Because they were clothed in his glory. They weren't naked then. But then all of a sudden, their eyes somebody communicated something to them, and they started to believe something different. That's essentially what we are. We get communicated all these different things to us, so now we don't believe what God is saying. You know, you would believe in the Bible. Everybody in here would believe in the Bible if they taught it to you in school from the beginning. But you don't believe it because now it's something totally different than what they teach you in school. See, they say your education should be based in something different, but you trust the science. You believe that there were dinosaurs. You believe that the asteroids are there. They tell you that the planets and the moons are there. You believe everything that they say because they keep communicating it to you. But you don't believe this communication. Oh, no, they didn't teach me about this, so this can't be right. No, you said that wrong because, God wouldn't do it that way. Okay, well, how would he do it? How would he do it then? Go ask him how he would do it then. Since you don't like the way he's doing it, ask him how he would do it. But let me just give you a few verses and let me show you this and we'll just keep on going. But when we think about this, we have two main forms of communication. Talk and text. That's not true. That's the way two forms is. We talk and we text. But now, man, the biggest form of communication now might be texting. Yeah, we don't even want to talk no more. We say, hey, man, take this text message because when I text you, I don't want a rebuttal from you. And then if I do text, I can act like I didn't get it or I did get it. What they say, left them on red, so they can see now that if when you read them. I don't know, I'm going to get mine cut off, so you don't know if I read it or not. I'm going to get my daughter to see because I don't even know if you read the message or not. So. But when we think about it, it's usually verbal and written. That's what the two forms of communication is verbal and written. And so we have a verbal God that speaks through his Holy Spirit. And then we also have this written communication that we have here. So these are the two forms of communication that we have. And then so if you are deaf, mute, or dumb, that's what dumb was. It was you couldn't speak. But that was that's sign language. So I guess that's still a form of communication. But the two main ones are verbal and written. So, and then this is just a little step further. If you think about this, your title or name usually shows what you are communicating. All right. So we'll just hold on that. And I might get to that part or not, but I might get there or I might not. I don't want to hold y'all too long. But usually your name or your title dictates what you're communicating. Because if you say school teacher, you know that they're teaching. And then if you go a little further, so they're communicating some type of learning. So if you say math teacher, you know that they're communicating math skills to somebody. So if you say politician, what are they communicating? Crookedness. I mean, but then if you think pastor, they're communicating a certain thing. So usually your name or your title shows what you are communicating. All right. So I might get to that or I might not, but I just want to throw that in because that'll be a little extra as we go on. But I might get to it, I might not. But this is what we're going to go. We're just going to go over a few scriptures about what the Savior was doing and what he was showing us. All right. We'll see what Jesus was talking about here. And I do have some text in here. I do say Jesus, and I think I say Yahusha also in here. So I'm on the Hebrew kick. So I am talking a little bit about that. So here we go here. Here we go. We're going to go look through these here. But this is Matthew 14 and 23, and I'm going to run through these verses pretty quick because they're all kind of the same, but I want to show you something about what the Christ was doing. All right, here we go. After he dismissed them, he went up on the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was alone. All right. Next one, Mark 1 and 35. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Yahusha got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Mark 6 and 46. After leaving them, he went up on the mountainside to pray. But Yahusha often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5 and 16. Luke 6 and 12. This is the last one. One of those days, Yahusha went up on the mountainside to pray and spent the night praying to God. So what we're seeing here is that he is communicating with someone. When we think about prayer, we usually think that, oh, it's me asking God for something. And it can be, but that's the smallest form of prayer. That's a small form of prayer. When you get to the next step with what you were having him here, I'm using prayer as a form of communication with your God. And we looked at what he was doing. He was early in the morning sometimes going to pray with them. And then after he sent the crowds away, he would go have some alone time with his Father. So it has to be some type of communication with the ultimate source of life. It can't always just be communication with social media. It can't always just be communication with the news channel. It can't always be communication with sports. It has to be some communication somewhere else. And the only way you can do that is usually in a quiet place. And right now, I can say this, probably one of the most important things you can do right now is have a prayer life. Because if you have a problem, go talk to the one who's in control. If you have a problem, go talk to the problem solver. Don't just put on social media what your problem is. Don't act like, just think about this. We really want to post that foolery if we do post it, but don't you want to answer to the problem? Are you just telling me, because look, let's just be real. The reason, I'm going to say this is where it started out. I'll just use me. You might be differently. The reason I served God because my life was messed up. I needed my problem solved. Like, let's just be real. I ain't just doing this and say, all right, man, now all of a sudden I'm going to serve him. He said, no, man, some things were going bad. He said, I needed some problems solved. So I said, well, everything else I was doing wasn't working, so I might as well try this way. And it's been good. It worked out for me. That's all I can say. But, he said, but that verse of the Psalms 34, it said, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. So I got an opportunity to taste, and I saw that, yeah, this was pretty good. So that's what I'm saying. So let's just be real about this. We come because we truly come to God at first because we need some help with some issues. And now where the interesting part comes, once your issues are starting to get on the right track, will you keep going or do you turn away? That's the next step that usually happens. So, well, I got my problem solved, so I get on up out of here. That's that genie in the bottle deal, because when the genie, once those 3 wishes are gone from the genie, he gives them, you're gone. You throw that whole bottle away. You just throw it back in the ocean or wherever it came from. You say, hey, man, because I don't want nobody else getting their wishes granted, so I'm going to get rid of this. But you want some problem solved. Let's just be real. And so he's a problem solver. Man, he'll give you the direction that you need to go. And really, this is where it gets good. This is where it gets good. So after you follow God for a while, you stay in this thing, you start to truly know truth. And it's like a freedom that you have. You say, man, hey, man, he said, man, when Biden was in there, yeah, I was still good. You say, when Trump is in there, I'm still good. You say, when the next one comes along, I'm going to be good again because I know the source. I'm connected to a different system than everybody else. See, if you want to stay connected to this system, you're going to keep getting the results that the system give you. But if you connect to a different system, the kingdom system, you'll be in a different spot and you can go to a different source because these people will only give you what they want you to have. See, God gives you exactly what you need. See, most of the time we'd be like, all right, Lord, I need some money. You're like, no, you don't. He said, you don't need no money. You need this. You need to put this in your life. You need to put that in your life. And really, I can't give you no money right now because your grip is too tight anyway. He said, I can't get nothing in there. That hand's so tight, I can't get nothing in that hand. See, so we thinking we needed one thing, but he's going to give you the perfect thing that you need. But you never know until you start communicating with God. As we saw Jesus do, the Christ, the Messiah, he's the one going to get some help. We're not even on his level, and we don't want no help. And we talk about how perfect we are. Up to this point, he hadn't seen yet, but he's still up there praying. He's still up there communicating. And we got a jacked up life. We say, oh, no, I'm in good shape. I'm right where I need to be. He said, yeah, God's been good to me. He's blessing me. You say, how is God blessing you? You don't even serve him. You say, how does that work? Okay, but we'll leave that alone. Let me keep going. Let me show you what communication is. Let me show you what communication is here, right here. It's the act or process of using words, sounds, signs, or behavior to express or exchange information to express thoughts, feelings, etc. So y'all heard that stuff before. Oh man, he's acting out. See, when your kids don't pay and you're not paying attention to your kids, they just start acting out because they want some communication. That's what they want ultimately. And we all want communication. We act like we don't, but we want some communication. You know, when it's your birthday, you want somebody to tell you happy birthday. Oh no, we ain't gonna act like we don't. Hey man, if you got, and men might not, men will feel the same way too. Yeah, you better tell me happy birthday or happy anniversary or something. But if you got a lady, you try it and don't tell them happy birthday or happy anniversary. Boy, communication would be messed up for a while. So we do want communication, you know, but we can act like we don't, but we do want communication. And then what I told you guys too is verbal or written message. See, it wasn't a lot of writing going on back in the day. So it was more of a verbal communication to the source. See, it's verbal. See, and that's what, and one of the things I would say for me, I think I'm a decent teacher, but don't fall in love with my words. You need to go to the source. See, don't be, oh, well, Jesse said this, Jesse said that. No, rightfully divide the word of truth and make sure I'm saying it right, but go to the source. Because if not, you're always looking for somebody to give you the direction that you need to go, but ultimately it comes from your God. It doesn't come from a man or a woman. I love my wife and she says great things, but it can't override what the Lord is saying to you. You have to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, and you'll have people helping you along the path, but you have to do what's right for you. What God is telling you to do. That's the way this works perfectly, because everybody's not a hand, everybody's not a foot, and everybody's not a brain. Just think about that. But these are the couple of things that we're looking at here. But I'm going to show you today, look, into how to be a great communicator. I'm going to show you right now how to be a great communicator. So if you don't take anything else, you're going to be able to communicate after we finish today. And look at that, boy, that guy up there talking. And that's not even a scary sight, man. You know really, truly what a scary sight is now when you're communicating is when you don't have the help from the Holy Spirit. See, that's the scary part. Now, see, when you're truly trusting God, you can go talk to anybody. But man, when you don't have that spirit and it's not flowing right, it's painful. I've had a couple of them sermons. Painful. But if you are going to be a correct communicator, it's going to be part of the Holy Spirit. But I'm going to show you guys exactly some steps to get there. But this is one of the first things that you have to do. You have to have a belief in what you are communicating. See, if you don't believe in what you're communicating and you don't believe that this works, how can you communicate it to someone else? If you're a math teacher and you don't believe in the math you're teaching, you're just going to slop stuff together. If you're a politician, let's do it like this. Which one do we want to do? All right. Either way it can go. If you're a Republican and you're acting like a Democrat, you're not communicating a good message. See, so we have to think about these things. Like, man, I'm saying I'm this, but I really don't believe in what I'm communicating, so I'm kind of flip-flopping on what I'm doing. See, that's why I have to say that your title or your name demonstrates what you're communicating. And that's why I don't know if I'm going to get to this, but I think I might be able to. That's why the word Christian is something crazy. It's actually not a good name. We shouldn't call you a Christian. We should actually call you a babe. When you first come in, we should just call you a babe. Because if you don't graduate out a babe, you're just a babe. I wouldn't truly call you a Christian. See, because when we say Christian, we think you're able to communicate something, and most Christians aren't able to communicate nothing. So that's where the problem lies. Because we say, oh, man, we're a Christian. You say, oh, man, what do I need to do? Oh, man, I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing, that's what you can do. See, so you're not communicating a good message. See, that's why I had to say your title demonstrates what you're communicating. Because if I'm trying to find a Christian, I'd be like, that person knows what to do. That person knows how to get to God. That's what we assume when we hear the name. But you have to believe in what you're communicating. See, most believers don't believe in what they're communicating. That's why they're not good at doing so. One of the things, people say, man, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell nobody. That's a lie. You become a great communicator. Because, boy, hey, that belief then manifested now. and you're going to show everybody what you got. Just think about that. You ain't going to hide that no more. You know, man, I would just do this. No, you're not. You're going to get a Mercedes. You're going to go get a big house with a pool. Don't act like you ain't going to start communicating some things. You're going to know. People are going to know. But that's what we do. But now when we truly give our life to Christ, people should know that we're communicating a little differently now. Well, you can keep communicating the way you want to. It just look the same. And then you go to the family reunion and you tell them, man, you know, I got saved. He said, oh man, you still smoking with us? You still drinking with us? He said, man, Pastor, man, God is good. You know, you ever talk to people smoking weed? That's all they want to do is talk about God. He said, well, wait a minute, dude. He said, man, one guy, I never smoked. And then the guy said, I said, man, why you always talk about God when you try to hit this weed? Weed gives you the ability to think. I say, wait a minute. I say, so you're a dummy without weed? Now you're smart when you smoke? I say, wow. I say, this is foolery. But see, now me, other people like that, you just get away from them. You say, yeah, that's a real fool. And you say, this is a real fool, because this makes no sense. And he thinks he's the smartest person when he's communicating on that marijuana. You say, oh, man. He said, all right, then, man. See, let me get away from you, man, because, yeah, you're not heading in the right direction. But, you know, either those can be your friends, or you get away from fools. Yeah, you see a fool, either that's going to be your friend, else you got to get away from them. You say, man, you don't hang out with us no more, man. You think you better than us? No, I don't. I know I'm better. Ain't no thinking. I know. The way y'all carrying on, you say this ain't going to be that lead to a good path. But if you want to start the basics of communication, you have to believe in what you are communicating. I believe in this. I believe in this because I saw what my life was before, and now I understand what it is now. So that's why when people, they can talk about your God, they can talk about your path, you haven't tried it. And now I'm at the point now, man, if you do, you do. If not, this is what works for me. If the path you're doing and you keep going down that path, if it's working, man, keep going. Keep going if that's working. That's all I can say about that. But I found something that I believe in, and it's worked. It's worked. Not only for me, it's worked for my family. So this has been a great path. So next one I'm going to give you. You always have to be learning and doing. See, I don't really consider myself a preacher. I like teaching. Because I want, after the music and all that stops and everything goes on, you say, oh man, did I learn something today? And then if I did learn something, can I put that into practice? See, that's what you have to do. See, it say you can't just be a hearer of the word. It says, do what it says. You know, we can have a lot of knowledge, and we do get a lot of knowledge when we look on social media. One of the things I can say about certain things that I watch on social media, it is knowledge. But when I look at that knowledge that I'm getting, I can't apply all of it because it's so much. You can't apply all that, man. You're getting something new every day. Okay. It's a lot of knowledge, but you have to find what you want to learn and how you want to apply that to your life. So most of the things that I have to do personally, I have to take the knowledge that they might be saying, and I have to filter that through the lens of God. And if that is working correctly, now I can do some of those things that I've learned. See, but you can't just say, oh, well, I learned something today, but you don't do it. See, these two things are going to go hand in hand, because if you're not doing it, see, one of the things that we looked at is you pour yourself out so you can be filled up. See, we get to the place where we get so spiritually full, we get so fat, we do all these things, we can't retain anything else because we're not pouring or doing anything with what we've gotten. And so that's why, man, every chance you get, man, you should be trying to pour out to somewhere, pour out to somebody, do something. Just do something out there, because now you can increase your learning. You can take more with you. And then you just never know who needs to hear what you're saying. Even if you don't think they accepted it. It's not your job to say that they got it or they didn't get it. Even if they didn't get it, it's a seed planted. If you're planting that good seed, now you can plant bad seeds too, but if you're planting the things of God, God will bring it to their remembrance. See, it's not your job to change them, just plant the seed. See, it's not your job to beat them up over the head with it. Yeah, just say, hey, man, I had to say this. I don't know if you're going to get it or not, but I just had to say this, and now you just move on. Some plant, some water, God gives the increase. All right. And so that's part of being a great communicator. We actually learn and do. All right. This is the last one here, is that you have to have some alone time. Now, this is the scary part, because everybody thinks they have so many friends because they got these followers on Facebook. None of those are your friends. And I'll tell you right now why they're not your friend. Ask them for $5 a piece and see who donates to you. You would think a friend would give you $5. Because if anybody in there asks, I would give them $5. I don't have no problem. I give you $5. But you know those people aren't your friends. You're like, hey, man, can you send me $5? Crickets. So you know they're not your friends. But I'm glad you got 1,000 people that you think like you. They only like what you say or what you post sometimes. Because I post godly things. Nobody likes what I put on there. But I put a picture of me on the beach. They love it. I should say that. Yeah, they love it. Yeah, man, if I post a car, they go, oh, man, God is good. Yeah, I post a real biblical verse that I put or saying something. Crickets. So I know they're not my friends. and what is it? They really say in your lifetime, you really truly only have maybe 5 real friends. That's what they say out of your whole lifetime. And I'm getting older, and I don't know if I hit 5 yet. I don't know if I hit 5, but as you get older too, it's hard to get friends too. You know, if you don't make them when you're small, it's even harder, because life doesn't usually match up no more. You know, you got to have kids. They have to have kids. Kids have to be the same age. Then the kids have to like each other. You know, it's a lot that goes on. But this is what you have to do. You have to be cool with being alone. Because when we look at the Messiah and what he was doing, he had to go to a quiet place to hear from God. And that's where a lot of people are scared to get to. Because when you get to a quiet place, it's usually not that quiet. And the reason I say that, you start to hear a lot of different things. And for me, I started to just get kind of distracted. But man, when I was out doing crazy things, man, you started, man, you know, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. You, man, go ahead, don't do. So it's a scary spot to be in. It's not a good spot. So you have to be cool with being alone and hearing God talk and correct and teach in that place. Because when you look at Christ communicating with him, he really was here to do the will of the Father. And what truly came down, he was like, hey, man, you know, you eventually have to go to this cross. You're going to have to be crucified. Say, Lord, just keep girding me up. Just keep girding me up. I need your help, because, man, this is because, you know, Christ got to the spot where in the Garden of Gethsemane where he sweat blood. Because that was a painful time to say, man, I'm about to have to bear all the sins of this world, be brutally beaten, be crucified, be nailed to a cross because of what y'all did. Man, that would mess with somebody's psyche. But you have to get to the spot where you are cool with having some alone time. You got to be good with that. Because that's the only place, that's one of the greatest places that the Lord will speak to you, is when it's quiet and you're by yourself. And when you look at people that have had different encounters with God, Even if they were around some people, God really only spoke to them. Even if, even if. But if you want to really truly learn how to communicate in this time, in this season, you're gonna have to be alone with God. And really just gonna be talking to the ultimate communicator. And then once you start talking to the ultimate communicator, you become better at communicating. So you become better at what you're seeing and what you're visualizing. And then now the Lord will start to say, hey man, be of good courage. Don't worry about this world. I've overcome all this. I conquered death, hell, and the grave. And then look, man, just read my word. Look what I did for them back in the day. Look what I did for Israel. Man, I brought them out of this. Look what I did for David. I did this for him. I restored the kingdom. I did all these great things for these people. So now we start to get encouraged about what our God can do. I'm not even going to talk. I might talk just next time about, because I got some thing about what Christian is, but this is more important right now as I get ready to wrap this up. This will be more important because I want to go over to Psalms 8. And I didn't get a chance to put this on the board because I just got this here this morning as I was kind of looking at this. But I just want to read what Psalms 8 says. And I want you guys to meditate on Psalms 8 this week and just look at this because it is such beautiful words that he says here. Look at what he says. I'll just start with verse 1. I think it's just 8 verses? No, it's 9 verses. So, all right, here we go. Psalms 8, verse 1. It says, Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory in the heavens. Through the praises of children and infants, you have established a stronghold against your enemies. Little people doing this. All you have to do is, man, have the faith. Man, you what's so beautiful? Kids believe anything you say. See, that's all he's looking for. See, we have to be childlike faith because it don't matter what your circumstance looks like. Your kids can be living in the worst hood in town. They don't even notice it. Like, man, hey, this is my house. This is where I'm living at. As we get older, he's like, oh, man, what we doing? But then you tell your kid, you can be in the poorest ghetto in America. You say, hey, we're going to Disney World. They ain't doubting nothing you talking about. Lights get cut off. Hey, Dad, we going to Disney? You told us we was going to Disney. The kids believe everything. So now if you truly believe like a child, God can do whatever and establish a stronghold against your enemies. All right, let me go. Let me quit. I got to go and get to this. All right, to silence the foe and the avenger. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, that's what your God created. Don't believe no Big Bang created all this stuff. This is what he created, which you have set in place. He put these in place. Now, this is the question that David poses. Oh, I love it. I love it. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them. He's posing a question. Why? Why do you care for us? Say, man, angels are this, angels are that. Let's just keep going. You have made them a little lower than angels and have crowned them with glory and honor. You have made them rulers over the works of your hands. You put everything under their feet. Now, it's up to you if you want to believe this or not. It's up to believe. Belief is optional. Belief is optional. But this is what he said he's doing. All flocks and herds and animals of the wild, the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, all that swim the paths of the seas. Lord, oh Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. God is looking in on our affairs. He wants you to be successful in this life. And look, it's not about you. is for his name's sake. See, he doesn't want you to look like a fool out here because he's saying, man, he's a representative of me. I got this fool out here looking stupid. He said, no, I got to bless him. He said, man, why are you mindful of me? You're looking at me. He's looking at us. He's looking at you. He cares about what you're going through. He cares about good things happening to you. He cares about what you care about. So if I was a person in your seat, in my seat, I would start to care about what he cares about. Because he does care for you. But you have to care about some of the things that he cares about. And he wants to communicate with us. Communication was cut off in the garden. But now you can get it back. That's what Christ came to die for, so that lines of communication could be opened again. So from this day forward, it's up to you if you want to or don't want to. But let's start to communicate with our God again like we should. And everybody's not going to always applaud you while you're doing it. Everybody's not going to cheer you on. Because, man, when things start to get better, people don't cheer for you no more, at least the ones close to you. Because this is what it is. And there's nothing against people, but the people get scared that you're going to leave them in their nothingness. Yeah. See, nobody wants to get left behind. That's where that crabs in a bucket mentality comes from. You're like, oh, man, this fool's about to get out the bucket and see what's out there. And I'm scared to move, and I'm going to stay in this bucket. So that's why people want to pull you down. So don't think that's strange. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. Get up off of me. And you got to keep going. But one thing about leaders, if you are going to lead, and I say this, I say everyone's a leader in some type of direction, because we're probably parents, we're probably something on our job, we're whatever. Everybody's leading in some direction. But the reason why you sometimes, as when you're leading, you don't understand, because you're out front. Sometimes don't know where you should walk. And then sometimes with God's small, still voice, until you learn how to really, truly hear from him and receive from him, you really don't know where you're going. It's kind of, your path's not as lit as you think it should be. But you just keep walking that path, and he'll start to light your path as you continue to walk, and in order to ordain your footsteps, because now your faith starts to kick in, and it doesn't matter what you can see, because you're going to start walking by faith and not by the sight that you see. So that's what happens when you lead. You're like, oh man, I'm out here in front. It makes it easier to be a sheep. It makes it easier to be a sheep. But really, we're not raising sheep. We're raising people that can fight at the things of God when nobody's doing it. So if you're the only one fighting, so now that turns you into a leader, because you're out there on the battlefield. You're out there making a way. You're out there showing people the right path to go down. So that's what you have to start to think about. But it all starts with the communication with our God. But all right, I'm done.